Hi guys, we're just back at the drum studio in Reading. We got a bit of plasterboarding to do today and some plastering. It's just myself and PJ. So let's just have a little look around and see what we've got to do. So we're back in the room. This is how we left it last time. So we got all the second layer of insulation in and obviously the inner shell. And what we're going to do today is we're going to plasterboard the room. So the way we're going to attack that is, first of all, we'll start with the ceiling. Now, the way we've organised this is we've got, these are 120 panels up here in the ceiling. So we've got 3 120 panels and then about a half panel. So what we're going to do is there's 2 layers of plasterboard. We start our first layer here, which will probably sort of finish about there, and then continue down. And it doesn't really matter the first layer that it lands on a stud, because obviously the second layer will start back at this end, make sure this completely finishes on a stud, and then so on. And it's sort of the same with the walls, but we'll come back to that later. A couple of things we've got to watch out for are our vents. So we've got a vent there, so we have to mark the location of that. We'll put like a pretty small hole in that to start with. We won't do a sort of big hole because it's harder to plaster around. We've also got our main feed for the spots. So we've got 28 sheets of plasterboard to install. We've got those in the van at the moment. Yeah. So what sort of stuff do we need to do the job? So we've basically got a couple of spirit levels. This one's a really good one, so that's nice and level, and it actually works pretty well. This one's a bit more bent up, but this one's quite good for drawing lines and marking and stuff. We've got poles. So these are kind of pretty essential for doing work on the ceiling. So basically we can come up with that, and that will support the plasterboards whilst we're screwing them in. What have we got, PJ? We've got auger bit. So this is basically for when we're doing things like the electrics, or we want to do a hole for the vents, we can go through the plasterboard with that. We've got a couple of drill drivers, impact drivers. We've got a chalk line, that's good for the ceiling, so we can do lines across and obviously get the screws in the right places. We got a couple of knives with some sharp blades.
In case it all gets too much for us. Yeah,
exactly. A couple of tape measures, which is kind of good. And then we generally use the 3.5 by 42 mil screws. This is enough to go through 2 boards, so you can use that for the first board and the second one. But what we generally do with the first board, we don't go mad with the screws, just enough to kind of get it up there. And then the second layer, obviously we do that sort of with more screws, so it's kind of properly done. Okay, so we're going to try something today, which we haven't really done before. We're going to put ourselves under a little bit of pressure. There's only myself and PJ. Jacob's back in the workshop. So we've got 28 sheets of plasterboard to put up. We've got 6 bags of plaster to plaster the room. What we're going to try and do is do this job in 12 hours, setting ourselves a little bit of a target. What we're going to do is set a timer on the phone. We'll put it up to the camera. We'll keep referring back to that. So 12 hours for 28 sheets of plasterboard and to fully plaster the room with 5 to 6 bags of plaster.
Some taskmaster.
Do you reckon we can do it, BJ?
I think we can do it.
I reckon we can. So we're going to kick off by plasterboard in the ceiling, and then we'll see how we get on, and we'll keep sort of talking about what we're doing on the walls and stuff. We've got a lot to do, so we're going to get cracking. So we'll see you guys shortly.
Going up. This way. I got all this. Sorry, that's me twiddling.
Yeah, you come off it. You hold this one.
During this process, it's important to put lots of screws in a pocket that you will stab yourself with when you get back in the van. It's really important when you're really tired and you've finished for the day, you get back in the van, you sit on a screw and it wakens you right up, and it really improves your road safety. Okay? Top tip.
First thing to check is if the wire's gonna get clipped behind the board. Yeah, we need to do that.
What did PJ say?
Okay, there's an easy fix. Yeah, always remember to measure where that cable's gonna go. I thought I was gonna miss it. So we've got 2 boards on, so we're just basically staggering them. So we've got one here, which is a full board. We're gonna have to put a piece in there. Then we come back the other way, get a piece in there, and then so on. And then this last one will be a cut along the horizontal. Then we'll go back from this way back to the other side, and obviously then we'll land exactly on a 120 stud.
Make some cuts now to fill in the gaps.
So we've got 37.
Okay.
We've got 3 at 37. So what I'll do is I'll cut one of them and then obviously use it as a template.
There you go, there's your ruler.
Right, so basically we're cutting plasterboard, dead easy, just using basically a knife. So we'll just score this. Obviously trying to keep as close to the line as possible.
Can you explain how you do that, please?
You just try. Whoa, you fall down a hole. Okay, so that's cut. So what we'll do is if I just shift this board
I'll
off.
hold the other hand.
Nice. And then literally... Oh.
Have you ever had a glamorous assistant before?
We're a bit stuck on the gazebo here.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Right.
It's never
fantastic.
happened on Blue Peter. We're stuck on the gazebo.
Whoops. That was bad.
Straight down the seam.
Okay. But down there, and it just snaps off. Okay.
One template.
So that's our template. So we put this back
Put
down.
the board back down. One-handed Williams. One-handed Williams, that's what they're calling me.
Use the good edge. So this the factory edge.
Yeah, so you flipped it.
Mark that up. What I'll do, a little bit controversial. Let's try and mark it twice. As I say, because this is the first layer, and obviously there's going to be other layers going up to it.
What about kerf wastage, eh?
There's a bit more of a tolerance that you can account for, or not account.
Right, this is the ASMR shot.
Okay, there.
Yeah.
Straight down. Snap off. We're a bit wedged on the gazebo here, so but because we're trying to do this in 12 hours, we're just trying to work through it.
Good.
Okay, so we got 3 there.
Let's get them up.
Okay.
Right.
Can I do this on my own? Let's see if we can. How you do this on your own? So I'm going to pick in the first instance the good edge.
Yeah.
Actually, we don't have one on there, so
Uh-oh.
straight in,
Straight in.
like so.
In the hole.
Okay.
Let's use it in the hole.
It's a little bit tight, but
Sorry, got interrupted there by poor camera work. Ooh, that light looked nice on the phone.
so again, we're not going too mad with the screws. Also, one thing to do is on the first layer, maybe stay out right in the corners because the second layer is probably going to go through the same screw. Hi guys, big shout out to our official sponsor, soundshirts.com. Check them out for all your music inspired hoodies and t-shirts. Use discount code SPE10. Check out the link in the description below.
Two sides.
Ooh, that's fancy.
So then you can stick it out further without it folding over when you're doing ceiling measuring.
What's the measurement?
Find out, shall we? It's going to be just inches on the back, this one, isn't it?
So what's an exact measurement of that?
Well,
That's pretty much 68,
68,
right?
yeah.
So we're probably going to leave half a centimetre tolerance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've got room for that.
Let's just check the other side.
Bang on the same.
Let's just see that because
Yeah, let's do it.
people
Let's
won't
do it.
believe that.
From
but
the
yeah.
stud to the edge of the plasterboard, it's
Yeah.
exactly the same measurement.
Nice. Right. Okay. So 68. So if we actually went for 67,
That gives us some room for play, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
'cause
We're
we've
already
got-
fighting with it.
don't forget we got 2 layers of plasterboard going on here, going up to it. So should we do that, PJ?
Let's do that.
67. One of the other tools that we've used for cutting plasterboard is called the blade runner, which we'll get to in 1 second. So this actually means you don't need a knife, and it cuts either side of the plasterboard at the same time. Basically, it's got on either side, it's got these interchangeable blades. We don't see many people using these. It's a very strong magnet, so that goes together. And then what you actually do is place it on here, and it runs underneath, basically scores the plasterboard. Okay. It doesn't do it. Okay, so it needs a bit of, sometimes a little bit of extra, but essentially it cuts both sides at the same time. Yeah. BJ's just pinged through for the...
We do a reenactment.
Go on then.
I went...
Whee! A load of dust fell on your head.
Yeah.
Are we good? So we just... Oh yeah, there's a hole there. Amazing.
My granddad said never put your finger in a hole.
Oh. Why not?
Well, you might get bitten or chopped off.
That's good. So,
Right.
got plenty of screws in there. We pinged it off with a string line. That's one section done. Another 3 to go.
There we go. That's where we're up to. Can you see? Whoa. That's it.
So we're just about to start plasterboarding this wall. We've marked where all the vertical studs are. So what we're going to do is, because we've essentially got a 120 here, 120 panel, 120 panel, and then a 70 odd. We'll start here, so the first board's going to land about there. We'll carry on to the end, and then on the second layer, we'll obviously finish directly on a stud, and it will be staggered, which is obviously the best way to go about it for soundproofing purposes. Okay, let's rock and roll. Very nice. Okay guys, that is one of the wall on. One wall on, yes. That's all 2 layered up, ready for plaster ing tomorrow. Okay, so what you'll find is with these rooms, obviously, because the height is only about 2.1, obviously we got a lot of offcuts off the bottom, and rather than chucking them onto landfill, what we find the best thing to do is actually, for the first layer, is actually put them on as the first layer. So what we're going to do is, all these offcuts now, we're going to build upon this wall just to get rid of them, and then we're not wasting any plasterboard. So
Waste is bad.
and it works perfectly well because it's 2 layers.
2 layers.
Okay, so we'll crack on with that now. We'll try and do this wall next, then we'll probably have a little break. Okay guys, that is most of the plasterboarding done. We've just got the last bit to do now, which probably is the bit that's the slowest, because obviously there's quite a few cuts here and there. How many plasterboards have we got left, PJ? 1, 2, 4, plus other bits, so that we can get rid of. So again, we've got some offcuts here. Yeah, so just got about enough to do that, so we are going to get those on now and then finish for today. All going well. Okay, that's the whole room plasterboarded. Whew. 28 sheets. Literally what we've got left is those little bits there and just a couple of bits outside, but that was worked out on square meterage. So yeah, it was 28 boards, and we've got 2 layers of standard plasterboard on this. So we'll get all this plastered in next. In the meantime, we're going to go and have some food. Okay guys, we got the room plasterboarded yesterday. We're going to plaster it today. We're going to start off putting some scrim tape on. So we got this like extreme tape, which is The reason I like this is a little bit more sticky, and you can also see where the joins are a bit more easily than the white tape. And it kind of gives you a bit of a, you know, something to aim for, so you kind of go, well, I'm going to plaster to here, get that bit done, then move on. So that's kind of how I like to work. What we're going to do is we're going to start off with this end wall. So, well, we're going to get the whole thing scrimmed off. Start off plastering this end wall, and then I'm going to work along the ceiling, and then down to this wall. So we're going to get one coat on that. Now PJ, behind the camera, hasn't really plastered before. What I'm going to get him to do is obviously cleaning the bucket. Right. Nice. But also, what he's actually going to do with another trowel is just coming in the corner and just smoothing this off a little bit all the way around. Obviously, it doesn't need to bother about the middle bit. So when I've plastered the whole room, although the ceiling and the two walls, then I can just literally flatten that off, because we're up against time. Obviously we're trying to do this as quickly as possible, so I think that's going to be the best use of PJ's time, just coming in and just getting used to how the trowel works, flattening that a little bit, because obviously the corners are the things you've got to watch, because sometimes they go off a little bit quicker, whereas the main body of the wall kind of is a bit easier to handle. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to get a mix on. We're going to do about 1.5 bags of plaster, get this on. PJ's going to follow me around, and then we'll get you guys back. We'll put the time-lapse camera on as we go as well. So, should we have a little coffee and then we'll crack on? There we go.
Spirits have spoken.
Let your spirit rise. Let your spirit rise. Let your spirit rise. Let your spirit rise.
Okay guys, that is the first coat on the ceiling of the two walls. We've flattened it off. We've just paused the camera whilst we were having a brew. We're going to get the second coat on now. We've literally got 5 hours 39 seconds left. That's our aim. Hopefully we can get the whole thing plastered and done in 5 hours 39 minutes. Do you reckon that's possible?
I think it's possible.
Right, so
Anything's possible.
you've just got to try
And wish.
and hope and just get on with it, really. That's kind of what you got to do, innit?
Get on with it then.
Yeah. Shall we?
Let's.
Right. That is the second coat on the walls and the ceiling. Just waiting for that to go off a little bit, and then we'll flatten that off, polish it up, have a bit of lunch, and then we'll get on to the other two walls. We've got 4 hours 40 left to meet the 12-hour target, so I think we're going to do it. What do you say, PJ?
We'll smash it.
We're going to smash it. So yeah, it's all taking shape, as one would say. Yeah, so we're just waiting for that to go off, and then we'll give that a good polish up. So that's all done now. So we're gonna blitz these two walls, so the wall here and this one. So to try and achieve that, PJ's gonna, in the first instance, pass me the plaster, which you're dreading, aren't you, PJ?
I hate doing that. Because
Not, is it only a boring job?
it's not boring, because Like if your angle isn't right and I don't get it right, it goes on the floor. And
So we'll see how much goes on the floor.
then you blame me.
But yeah, that's all gone in well. As I say, we're going to get this on, flatten it off, get this on, flatten it off, get the next coat on, and then that's the room done. So it's really taking shape now. So
We'll be making tracks.
we shall be making tracks. So let's get cracking.
Let's do it.
Okay guys, that is 2 hours 50 left. That's the first coat on those two walls, so just going to flatten those off. Peter's going to do another mix, going to get those on, so we're on target, we're getting there. So yeah, wait till the end to see if we actually achieve it. Hi guys, running out of battery on my GoPro, so I'm going to stop filming there. Got 2 coats on, got 1 hour 18 left on the timer, so I think we're going to be well within time. Just need to flatten this off, give it a good polish up with a bit of water. We've got to do a bit of tidying up, so yeah, we're on target. That was quite an epic journey, both in the driving and obviously doing what we did with 2 of us as well. So yeah, I'm going to turn this off now and then I'll capture some of it on my other camera. See you later. That's the room all plastered and finished off. We're literally 38 minutes to spare, so we've done pretty well there. So that's all plastered in. So the next trip we'll be doing cladding on the outside. Electric's done, we'll be getting the room sprayed down, acoustic panels in, all the sort of finishing bits. But yeah, that's the fabrication of the building up, and that's all gone well in with the plastering. Hey guys, we're just in the van now. We're going on our way back up north, which is about a 3.5 hour drive, is it? Ish.
Depends, yeah.
Probably in traffic, it's probably more like 4.5 hours. So we will see you guys on the next one. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. We'll see you next time.